Today I'm going to show you how to make a crossbody bag with a fold over top using waxed canvas. So you could use different fabric if you wish. So I've got the various pieces here cut out in advance. The front of the bag is made from two panels which we're going to join together. There's a fold over, so this is a facing for the fold over. Then the strap's made of the same waxed canvas. Pocket is a slip pocket on the inside with lining fabric with fusible fleece on it. So we're going to start by making the front of the bag. So we're going to join the two front panels together. I use Clover clips with a waxed canvas so we don't get any unnecessary holes in the fabric. Stitch it, then open out the seam allowance, finger press to hold back and hold in place. And you're going to top stitch it with a contrasting thread. Next we're going to add the front closure piece. So we're going to work out the position of that by folding over the top of the fold over the bag. Or alternatively, you can follow my measurements. So this, they're the tab, all the measurements below in the description, to be honest, is 5 inches up from the bottom of the bag. And we're going to use fabric tack glue, which is going to hold that leather strip in place. It's the width of my push closer, which is 1/2 inch. So the fabric tack is going to hold that in place because, as I say, we don't want any unnecessary pinholes that will be visible to the eye, and leave that to dry. Once it's dry, we're going to stitch to secure using the same top stitch thread and a leather needle in the same machine. Next we're going to make the back of the push closure. So I've got a strip of leather here, again measurements are below, and we're going to glue the two sides of the strip together with the push closure threaded on. As you'll see, that's not quite straight, it's just a little bit longer on one side than the other. That just makes it easier for the sewing machine. So again, I'm working out the position of where that needs to go so that it fits with the front and snaps nicely with the front of the closure. So for me, that is 8 inches up from the bottom of the bag, and I'm going to measure that. I'm going to use a quilter's ruler here, as you can see here, to help me guide where I'm going to put the glue to put the strap in place. I'll get it nice and straight and parallel to the edge of the bag. So you can see that I've put the fabric tack on. I'm going to add the leather strap, and then again I'm going to leave that to dry, and then, as I say, I'm going to top stitch, machine stitch that to secure. So you can see how I've machine stitched the back, and I'm going to do the same for the front. Next we're going to add the facing for the inside of the bag. Again, I'm using Clover clips to not get any unnecessary holes. So right sides facing each other, machine stitch. I use a 1/4 inch seam allowance throughout this bag. Once that is done, we're going to assemble the outer bag. So we're going to line up those two seams we've just stitched. Get those aligned first, and then the rest of the bag will fall into place. Again, the right sides are facing each other. We're going to stitch the two sides on the bottom. Next, we're marking a 1 1/4 inch square from the seam allowance on each corner of the bottom of the bag. We're basically effectively boxing the bag to create width. Now we're going to join those raw edges together to create a straight line and add width to the bag. I've folded the seam allowance either one facing one side or one facing the other, just so it's kinder on the sewing machine when I come to machine stitch it, as you can see there. So stitch that and set aside. Next we're going to do the slip pocket. So fold the fabric so the right sides are facing each other, stitch a long side and a short side and trim the corners, turn it right side out and turn in your raw edge just a little and press. So it's about 1/4 inch there. Next we're going to place this on the bag. The pocket is placed 6 inches up from the bottom of the lining and placed centrally. I'm going to pin it in place. I've got the opening folded in raw edges at the bottom there, and we're going to finish it off by stitching down the side along the bottom and up, back stitch at the top of each side just for additional strength. Place the lining pieces right sides facing each other, and we're going to stitch the sides and 2 inches along the bottom and then stop so we've got a turning gap. So stitch that, then we're going to box the corners like we did for the exterior of the bag, marking 1 1/4 inches each side at the bottom. Cut that and then fold so your raw edges align. So once that's done, we're going to make the side tabs for the bag. So fold your pieces in half lengthwise, finger crease, open out, fold the raw edges into the middle to that original finger crease and then fold in half again. Now top stitch either side of this, I forgot. And create a loop, put your D-ring on, fold it so your raw edges are facing the bag, 7 1/4 inches up from the bottom of the bag and glue in place, and then machine stitch to secure. Next we're going to join our lining and our exterior together. So we're aligning the side seams. I'll do that first. Get those properly lined up. Again, I'm putting the seam allowance facing in opposite directions to reduce bulk for the sewing machine, and then aligning those edges and machine stitch round. Turn the bag out, fold in your raw edges at the bottom of your lining and top stitch or ladder stitch. Next, folding your facing in into the bag and top stitch with your contrasting thread. So nearly there. Now we're onto the adjustable strap. Again, fold that in half, fold into the middle, fold again and top stitch to secure. Next we thread through the slider, fold under and machine stitch to secure. Because it's wax canvas, I've not folded it in on itself because it's not going to fray. Fold through the D-ring, back through the slider across the top, and then back through the D-ring from the outside inwards and stitch to secure. There you have it, one completed crossbody bag. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe below.